Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Utah Jazz got their heads knocked in, kicked in, stomped out, and rolled over 102-77 in Dallas. The Dallas Mavericks and Luka the Don just, I don't even have the words for what just took place. The only good thing about this game was the fact that my sister was there. That's the God's honest truth. That game was terrible. 77 points put up by that Utah Jazz team. I can't believe we talked about how uh, James Harden only had 4 field goals made in his game today. Well, Donovan Mitchell had 4 field goals made in his game today. He was not very good at all. He hasn't been very good at all in this series, and now he's hurt his hamstring, so I'm pretty sure he's going to miss the game coming up in Utah. So we'll find out. I'm pretty sure they will let us know what exactly going on with that hamstring. But judging how he was looking and judging how that team is looking, I don't expect to see him playing for Utah anymore. Like, period, literally ever. I think we've seen the last of Donovan Mitchell in a Utah Jazz uniform. I think he's going to be out for Game 6, and I think he's probably going to be either demanding a trade or they will probably just trade him outright. If he stays with Utah, it ain't going to be nobody left but him. That's going to be the kind of thing I expect for that Jazz team. They need to blow this thing up. It's an absolute American tragedy that Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks actually have to play another game with this wretched team. I really believe that. Jordan Clarkson was good. He did his part off the bench as usual. Was pretty good. Daniel House, who had the best plus minus of the Utah Jazz, and only had a few points. Rudy Gobert showed up as a center, had a double-double, 17 points. But everybody else pretty much did nothing. Bogdanovich had the worst game of his life, and he picked a hell of a time to do it. 0 for 9. I think he was 0 for 7 from 3. What else did I see there? Royce O'Neal did close to nothing. Hassan Whiteside came in, did a few things, got angry, pushed people around. That kind of thing. It was a nice little melee there between him and Dorian Finney-Smith. He'd gotten tangled up. Whiteside did with Luka Doncic. It was a little extracurricular activity there. He acted like he wanted to pick Luka up, but by then, it was apparent that he was just trying to, play it to the referees because he knew the refs were about to call that technical on him. And, of course, Dorian Finney-Smith and the whole team came rushing over, and then the coaches came rushing over, and it was a push fest, and then it cleared out, and everything was fine. I think they ejected somebody. I don't know. I turned it away. The game was so horrible, man. I'm telling you. The only really thing I can honestly say is Luka Doncic was awesome. Had a nice third quarter where I think he scored like 17 points, just string 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 from the same exact spot over and over again. Utah didn't do nothing to stop it. The Utah Jazz were 3 of 30 from behind the arc. That is 30 shots attempted and only 3 of them connected from behind the arc. They've been anemic from behind the arc all series long, so that was just par for the course. What else? Rick Brunson's son, Jalen Brunson, awesome tonight as usual, continuing to carve people up from a sweet spot with like within 10 to 8 feet. It's not quite a layup. It's not quite a mid-range jumper. It's all in that sweet range in the paint that he just kind of throws his little floaters and his bank shots and all of his little, moves that he uses, and no one's figured it out. So he's going to continue to carve teams up until they understand exactly what he's doing to them. And judging by how things are going, they're not going to figure it out anytime soon. So I expect him to continue to average 28 points. I think 28 points through 4 games, his first 4 playoff games or something like that, is the 5th most ever for a player to start their playoff career. So congratulations to him for breaking records and just carving the Jazz completely and utterly up. What else? The Jazz were so awful, man. They were bad everywhere there was to be bad. They shot poorly from the field. They shot horribly from behind the arc. They played absolutely no defense. Their bench gave them nothing. Everybody they called on, they gave them nothing. Their stars were bad, except for Rudy Gobert on the boards. And Clarkson was good off the bench, but even he had a bad plus-minus. This was a game that Dallas had to really, really work hard if they wanted to lose. Let me tell you. because Utah wasn't beating me and a couple of my friends out there. So I hope my sister had a fantastic time at the game. Uh, I watched as much of it as I could manage, and I saw Luka Doncic just have a good time, feed into a fantastic Dallas crowd. Everybody walked out of there healthy except for Donovan Mitchell, unfortunately. And that is the story. I mean, honestly, when you look at the box score, all you see is a bunch of 1-4s, 0-4s in terms of Utah and their shooting percentages. It is really, really staggering how anemic their offense actually became this evening, especially coming off a game where they had a victory. And I told everybody, I was like, look, I picked Utah in 6 because I wasn't thinking clearly. And I didn't think Luka Doncic would be returning to the series at all. But even more so, I was just thinking Utah would be able to do something that they haven't proven they've been able to do all year, which is play well. Cut and dry. I haven't seen them play well. So I had no logical explanation for picking them in this series other than the fact that Luka was out, and I figured that the universe would make them pay for that. Playing Luka Doncic in a game that he probably shouldn't have been playing in garbage time minutes, and ultimately got himself hurt. I figured the universe would make Dallas pay for that. Well, guess what? Nope, they didn't. Why? Because Utah was in the way. Utah was in the way of that karma. Utah was in the way of them learning their lesson. Because Utah had their own lessons to learn, because they too did that stupid crap tonight with Donovan Mitchell when they were down by 30 and left him out there. And he got hurt. So, yeah. These two teams are the two teams that everyone in the West wanted to face. There was a good reason for that. And the thing about it is tonight that the Dallas Mavericks really showed that they have that defense in their back pocket still. That's the thing about them, though. The only reason why you wanted to see them is because Luka was allegedly out. But now that he came back and he's looking like himself, good luck. Basically, I think Dallas can really overachieve in these playoffs, especially given the fact that some of these teams are losing players. You got certain teams that are disappearing that you thought would be sticking around. Dallas looks like they could overachieve quite a bit, especially if they play defense the way they did tonight. I still am a big fan of the duo dynamic that they have with those power forward shooters, those stretch fours that they got in Kleba and, the guy that they just picked up from the Washington Wizards, Bertans. Those two players are very important to what Dallas is doing going forward. As long as they're giving those guys a healthy dose of bench minutes, they will run the score up when they put their bench in. I'm telling you, those guys can get hot and get hot in a hurry. Maxi Kleber was really good defensively tonight. I don't really pay much attention to him defensively, but tonight I did, and I saw a lot of good things. He put his body on people. He rebounded the ball. He played hard, and when he shoots the ball, it's wet. So I'm very much growing into being a fan of Maxi Kleber. I'm looking forward to seeing him move on in these playoffs. Dorian Finney-Smith has been fantastic as usual. I like what he does. Plays defense, gets out there, cuts into the passing lanes, gets his team out into the open court situations. Definitely important because they do not get a lot of fast break points for this Dallas Mavericks team. They do not. I would like to see them get out into the open court a bit more and not be so heavy on the half court. I understand that Luka Doncic is a fantastic half court player, but getting yourself easy buckets in transition really is good for the rest of the team. I think they lean on Luka a little too much, and I saw a lot of that tonight. And I think if they were playing against a good team, it actually could work against them. You got to find a way to get Spencer Dinwiddie involved. He cannot be a no-show just because Luka has returned. You're going to need his production. You're going to need his clutch ability. And he ain't going to be in rhythm to hit clutch shots just like he wasn't in that last game if he's not getting the rhythm throughout the course of the game. He needs the ball. Give it to him. So that's what I think, man. All in all, the Dallas Mavericks should be moving on. Like I said, it's a damn shame they got to play another game against this horrible team up in altitude. But I'm pretty sure Utah's fans will be happy to have their team come back home once again. And this is a very, very up and down series. You know, just when you think one team has figured something out, you see them lay an egg. And that's pretty much been the story of this series. I really felt like both teams have left games on the table in the series. But this wasn't one of them. Dallas took advantage of this game, and Utah never had a chance. Never gave themselves a chance. They relied too much on the three-point arc tonight when it wasn't falling. They allowed too many points against them, uh, even though Dallas didn't really score incredibly. At the end of the day, they allowed too much for what it is they were putting up. And you just didn't see them carry over that defensive prowess that they had from the last game. The second half of the last game, they played some very good defense, and I think that was a good portion of the reason they won the game. We didn't see none of that tonight. None of that tonight. It seemed like they were more preoccupied with being frustrated at the fact that the shots weren't falling, rather than to focus on other aspects of the game that could have helped them. So they got blown out, embarrassed, shot down, and hopefully they'll have their misery be relieved of them very soon, because at this point it's very obvious to me that Dwayne Wade and Danny Ainge need to blow this team completely to smithereens. There should be no more of what it is we know to be this current Utah Jazz squad. Bogey went 0 for 9. Don't ever bring him back, yo. Just don't. That player needs to be somebody much more athletic and agile. Like, I like the fact that he can shoot threes, but this is a different era, and you cannot get away with him being your small forward anymore. Period. He could be a backup. He could be a stretch guy, like Kleba, like Bertans, but he does not ever need to be a starting small forward for the Utah Jazz. Never again. Same with Mike Conley. Never again, you guys. Seriously, Mike Conley, I respect him, but he needs to move down. He's a role player now. He's stepping into that range of player that really can't help you like he used to, but he can help you. Sort of like Kemba Walker is expected to do going forward. That's where he's at. That's where he's at. I'm sorry. He's just too slight of body, and he's starting to slow down. Father Time is catching up a little bit. I still think he can help the team, no question, but for him to be my starting point guard, it's not going to work going forward. And as far as Rudy Gobert, same thing, buddy. Same thing. I like Rudy Gobert for catching lobs. I like him for pulling down boards, but he's a very limited player. And in the era that we're in, you got to be able to get out to the perimeter and guard the three-point line. If he can't find his way go out there, and I don't expect him to, given the fact that Father Time moves forward, not backwards, he ain't going to get no faster. And that's a bad thing. So, look, Utah has some pieces that could be good for them. Obviously, you love the Jordan Clarkson. Donovan Mitchell, I just think he needs a change of scenery. I really do. I think it's run its course. I think he's done everything he can do in Utah. I don't think Utah was ever the place for him. I think he made the most of it. I think they had a nice run, but they believed too much in a fit that didn't work, and they didn't have an imagination for bringing athleticism to that mix. And as a result, they're just only as good as we see them to be. And I expect them to be going home very, very soon. As in Game 6. This thing should be over. Dallas should cut this out, end it. Jalen Brunson going to continue to do what he's been doing. Luka Doncic is healthy. 2 games back, he's already scored 70 points, almost 2 games. Look, it's over. It is over. Utah's going home, and we are all going to be better for it. That's pretty much all I got to say about it. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching.